All right, hey everyone. So I want to talk about synchronicities again. I know I've talked about it before, but they are coming up like crazy. And I know in the past, I may have sounded a little frustrated maybe, and as if they were annoying sometimes, and I was slightly distrusting of them. But that was just, a little period of time that I was kind of experiencing that. But lately, the main reason I want to talk about them currently is because it's all lining up with, I just feel like this next stage of this process is going to be so big for me. And all these synchronicities are just kind of flowing in at the exact same time, at the same time that I'm really stepping into really kind of going head on with the biggest fears I've had in my life. So that's the main reason I want to kind of talk about this. So just to kind of go through them, I've talked about 111 and 1111 before. They're coming up at key moments right now, and they're coming up so often in the past few weeks. Just again as a reminder, and just kind of showing me that yes, this is the right path. And I'll talk about an instant that it came up in a little bit here as well. And then also just kind of a one that I've already talked about in one of my other videos, as far as a meditation that I had and the message that I got as far as helping someone named Alina, who I had no idea who that was. And then later on, I did encounter an Alina, and I'm not saying I can help anybody here, and that's not really my intent. And honestly, I don't think I said this in the last video, but my belief is, or my opinion is, in the majority of cases, when you help somebody, when it's true help, that it's 100% your choice. I feel like the helper is helped more than the helpee in a lot of cases. And so I'm not going into this thinking that I have any ability to help. I'd sure offer it if anything comes up, but all I know is that what this has led me, what that message has led me to, is looking into this person is something I would not have done unless I got this message. And finding out that she was a painter, and she's actually offering a course, like an online course, starting next year. I ended up signing up for it. And the interesting thing about it is the painting course, for one, I suck at painting. That was the one thing I could never do, and there's a reason for that. But back in high school, when I was into art, I would really stick with drawing because I had control. Or at least I felt like I had more control over it. Like, you make a mark on a pencil, and you have with a pencil, and you have that control where the mark goes. Painting, I was awful at because I felt like I had no control. Like the bristles were just going everywhere. Could never do it. And so this is specific to painting. And not only that, her description of the course is specifically about letting go of judgment. Don't go into it judging yourself. Just go with the flow and just let the creation flow. And that's the main objective of this course. And so that is something that I have had a huge block with even just drawing. I can't get into the flow very easily. And it also lines up with just the kundalini and dancing and all of that stuff that I've been working on recently, and it's just kind of lining up perfectly. So that's just one case. But that was the previous thing I had already talked about. Another thing is, so I also spoke about having a vision of a mermaid. At this point, not quite 2 years ago. I think it was around January of 2023. And I don't know how much, I don't remember what I said in the video. This was my video called Synchronicities. I don't know, it had synchronicities in the title. Oh, I think it was like synchronicities and blood sugar or something. And I don't go back and listen to my videos because it's hard for me to listen to myself. But so I don't know how much detail I provided on that. But I had a vision during a meditation of a mermaid, and she instantly was like unbelievably excited to see me. So much fun, just like flying me around space in this like water tunnel. So happy, so joyful, and she's like that every single time I interact with her. And so that's one thing that that's one message right there. Just that's what I need to step into, and that's what I'm starting to finally do with a little bit more confidence. And I don't know if I said this in the previous video, but the first interaction with her was she taking me out into space, stopping and pointing at this light, and it looked like a sunrise, but it was just light rising, and she said that was us on Earth, basically. And she said that they viewed that the same way we view a sunrise, and they just see our light rising, and it was just a really meaningful message I got at the time. And it actually inspired me to draw my first picture I've ever drawn in the past, man, close to 25 years. And I drew, and maybe I'll share it here on this video real quick. I'll put it on the screen. Well, I already said it now, so I'll have to. I am improving. This was my first drawing I've ever done in 25 years. So I do have some improvements to make, but uh, still, it encouraged me to actually start drawing again. And this was just my first drawing I've done. And at some point, I probably will start sharing some of my art just to start sharing. No real reason other than that. But since then, I interact with her a lot. She's so much fun. She just constantly wants to dance and just have fun. So that lines up with what I'm going to say next. Is these Kundalini sessions I've been having over the summer. I took a little bit of a break because some resistance came up, and then I don't know when it was, maybe about a month ago. I signed up for like a 6 month thing, and the reason I signed up for the 6 month thing was because it included the facilitator for these sessions does these like theme based events or sessions. And I got an email about this next theme based kind of storyline that she's using, and it was based on The Little Mermaid. And not only was it based on a mermaid, it was based on that and my biggest fear I've ever had in my life with using my voice. Okay, and that's technically what the movie The Little Mermaid was about, right? So the fact that I have that very meaningful vision in the meditation almost a couple years ago, and it lines up with what's coming up now. The fact that I start doing these Kundalini sessions, and then this mermaid session comes up, and it's tied to what I have to face, my biggest fear that I've ever needed to face. I don't know if that comes through as special to anybody else, but to me, it is extremely meaningful and extremely synchronistic. So the fact that those two things coincided together is pretty special. And then not only that, uh, once there's a little chat room in this group, and I think it was some just kind of sharing what we wanted to get out of these coming sessions, and I shared what I wanted to basically my main fear of why I don't speak up. And when I shared it and I posted it, it would post it at exactly 11:11 a.m. Now, you have to take my word for it that I had no idea what time it was. I do. It was around the morning-ish time, but I had no idea it was that time. So again, once again, what is that? I think I did the math. It's like 0.14% chance that I would post it at 11:11, whether it was the morning or night. So the fact that that happened is just crazy to me. And again, you'll have to take my word for it that I did not do it on purpose, and I had no idea that it was around that time. That said, there certainly have been times that I've done it on purpose. Like for example, if I'm in a chat room and it is like 11:11 sticks out to me, for example, on November 11th, I know I have said like happy 11/11 at exactly 11:11 a.m. During that day before. I've done things like that on purpose, but in this instance, I absolutely did not. And so, and again, but that's just a synchronicity for me. It doesn't really matter if anybody believes me, but I'm just sharing that it absolutely was pretty amazing to me. Now, another one, following, I think this was a Kundalini session I had a week ago, or around a week ago. I've been having so many lately. It's so amazing that I'm really like constant, like consistently confronting these fears. I've never done it this much, like on this much of a consistent basis, and it is making an unbelievable difference for me. And I'm so grateful for this coming up at this time. It just is really just so special for me. But anyways, during this Kundalini session I had, I it was actually very rough for me. It was the most emotional one I had. The previous ones, I was finally getting into the flow, dancing. They were really enjoyable. This last one though, I was focused on using my voice just to kind of, I had it in my head to, just kind of prepare with that. So I wasn't really feeling into the dancing, and I think even the music that was being played was more kind of like this chanting music that you could chant and sing along to. So I was really trying to use my voice. And there was just this heavy block, like my throat was tight, and I felt this crazy big block right between my heart and my throat. Never felt that before. And I was breaking down in tears through the entire session, and it was repetitive. Every time I used my voice, the block was there. I never felt like I could freely open up my vocal cords, really. It was really, really tight, and memories kept flooding in. And I know the reason, all right? And it's crazy because I've known this reason of why this is like why I'm like this, and I feel like I've been working through it, but not I haven't really been focused on it. I almost have been just kind of allowing it to do its own work, and it has been, but I've never intentionally focused on it. And this is the first time where I've really paid it a lot of attention. And this session, it kind of crushed me. I was every time I was trying to use my voice, this block would come up, this memory would come up, and I would break down in tears. It would happen over and over again throughout the entire session. And so it was tough. I was wiped out at the end of the session. And again, it was the first time I ever felt that block right between my heart and my throat. Then the following day, okay, I am subscribed to a YouTube channel that I've watched in the past. It's kind of a Reiki and meditation channel. And it comes out with a new meditation, just a guided meditation. So I turned it on and just kind of relaxed and listened to it. And it specifically was about focusing on the solar plexus and the high heart chakra, which I personally have never heard of. If I've heard of it, I never really paid attention to it. I know there's more chakras than the seven main ones, but I'm not too familiar with all of them. So I've never really heard of the high heart chakra, but supposedly it's right between the heart and the throat. So for me to have that experience in that Kundalini session, and then the next day come across this meditation that focuses on one, the solar plexus, which I have been hugely focused on these previous like 5 years of my life, and now the high heart chakra, which I wasn't even aware of, but felt this crazy block in the day prior, is just another synchronicity that just again blows my mind. The way these are all magically aligning is just something else to me. It's just crazy. Okay, so this last synchronicity happened today, which happens to be Thanksgiving, and I haven't really spent holidays with anybody over the past few years. I don't really have family nearby, and don't have many friends. So it's it's like Thanksgiving. As Rocky would say, it's just a Thursday to me. So, but that said, it was really nice to have this session on Thanksgiving, and I was correspondingly very very grateful for it. It was another Kundalini session. It was kind of a prologue to the upcoming Little Mermaid event, and it was so creative. It was just a really fun kind of storytelling to start before the Kundalini session, and the facilitator talks about kind of introduce seven sea creatures basically, and a corresponding characteristic. And I don't necessarily know if there were seven to necessarily coincide with the seven chakras or not. If that was said, I didn't hear it. I don't think so, but still, it's very interesting because the first one that was mentioned was the jellyfish. And specifically, it was called, she named it the jellyfish of judgment. And I don't know if people who are listening now watched that one video where I got stung by a jellyfish in the root chakra. So the fact that that was the first one mentioned, and I'm not saying that these sea creatures lined up with the chakras, but the first chakra is the root chakra. So that's just insane to me. I'm sorry, it's just insane to me. And I didn't mention this in that video, and I don't think I'm going to really share too much detail about it, but all I can say is that happened to me for a reason. I can't I don't want to share. I just don't. I can't share too much. It's just too much. It's too personal. But there is a reason that that occurred for me. It is a big reminder. It is it just coincides so much with not being able to use my voice and the fears behind that that I don't really want to get into. But there's so much more. And again, oh, it just gives me chills. I can't tell you how everything is just coming together right now. I don't know if this sounds crazy to everybody else. I have no idea. I just know I am 100% certain all of this stuff is aligning right now. And the whole point of the jellyfish of judgment, they were assigning, these, so-called negative characteristics with positive characteristics, and it's one of those things, jellyfish of judgment, turn it into jellyfish of joy. And that is something that I am currently working through big time. One of my biggest fears is being judged based on what I say and being ridiculed, and turning that and working on turning that into joy, even having being joyful of the judgment, even right, like stepping into that fear and facing it with joy is something that I'm continuously working on, and I'm just loving this so much. And just having these this is the first time of in my life that I have had a glimmer of hope that I don't know the best word, like for some reason I don't want to say fix it, but it is. I do want to fix this, and I don't mean fix as in there's something wrong with me, but I want to be able to approach my fear consistently. And this is the first time where I'm doing it on a very consistent basis, and I'm already seeing some pretty big results, and I'm just feeling so good about it. I can't comprehend it. I can't logically have it make sense because I still have that issue where my brain just cuts off and it makes it seem like it's impossible. But the feeling I have and that I'm stepping into, I'm finally seeing hope, and it's seriously the first time that I am feeling so good about this. So I just wanted to share just kind of just this process. It's so unbelievable to me, and yeah, that's it. All right, thanks guys. See ya.